Hello, it is June 27th, Monday, 2022. I am here at the voting station, Arapahoe County Social Services Building, Alameda and 225 area. Just wanted to say some thoughts before I go in. In previous videos, I had said that we have one election every year. Actually, every 2 years we have two elections, because when we're voting for state or for federal national elections, we have primaries. So, and then if we have a city or a local election, the local elections don't have primaries, as far as I know, as long as it's nonpartisan. Or so in Aurora we have nonpartisan local elections, so when you go to vote, the party's name is not next to the candidate. So, and then we only have one election for local elections, or at least for the city of Aurora, no primary. And so this year we have two elections. The primary election day is June 28th, but we have early in-person voting and mail-in, 1 week for in-person voting. And I went to the Gay Pride Festival this weekend in Denver, and I had talked to a lot of young people who have just moved here recently, not even that recently, within the past year, who haven't registered to vote yet and probably won't be voting in the primary this year. It's very discouraging knowing how many people are not registered to vote, especially young people, especially in a state where it's easier to vote than any other state in the country. So I like making these videos when I go to vote, because I want to just remind people how important it is to vote. We take it for granted in the US that we have the freedoms that we do have, and the fact that you can vote is something that is sacred. So I would just say, make sure that you get active locally, because it all starts locally. So like, for instance, we had major housing assistance over the pandemic, and it was the responsibility of the city of Aurora to reach out to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now that is a cabinet position, that is a department in the executive branch of the federal government. And so the amount of money that we receive from the federal government often depends on, relies on local government. And so with the repeal of, or the overturn of Roe v. Wade, it just shows you, which means that the states will now have the autonomy to decide on how abortion, the laws around abortion are. So even in Colorado already, which is a pretty blue state at this point, they already have an anti-abortion ballot initiative that they are collecting signatures for, and very well could get on the ballot. Now, a lot of these people I talked to this last weekend at the Pride Festival in Denver, a lot of them didn't realize that we have these ballot initiatives that are very important, that are done for, by, and of the people. And only 17 states around the country, I believe, do it the way that, there are many different kinds of ballot initiatives, but ballot initiatives that are for, by, and of the people, I think only 17 states do that, and Colorado is one of them. So it's, not only is it easier to vote in Colorado than any other state in the country, but it's also easier to do ballot initiatives as well. So again, this is a very sacred day. I believe that every election should be a holiday, because how important it is to get involved and be a part of democracy. The laws were written so that the people had the power to have a government for, by, and of the people. But that's just not happening right now. People aren't paying attention, and people take it for granted. So I hope that more people will start to get involved so that we can shape a world in which we want it to be shaped. So I'm going to take a moment of silence here before I go in, as a acknowledgement of those who have sacrificed their freedoms for other people's freedoms, for us to have the freedom to vote and have our ideas be heard and voiced. So let's take a moment for all of those people who have sacrificed their own freedoms for freedom in general. Thank you, everyone, and please go out and vote.